Do you want more additional resources? Join our free Facebook group, Quantum Creators Exchange. Enroll in the upcoming Ultimate Guide to Aligning Your Realities Masterclass and join Jeffrey's exclusive Quantum Creators Hub. We look forward to seeing you amazing beings. Love and blessings. Jeffrey, you always say one must participate in their own healing. What are the top 4 to 5 steps a client must take to get the results that they want from quantum vibrational healing?
Thank you, sweetheart.
You're welcome.
Yet another excellent question. All right. So the first thing is that you need to understand your natural state. And you hear me repeat this over and over and over again. And people that work with me on a one-on-one basis hear it every time. Your natural state is being happy, healthy, joyful, fearless, loving, and alive. And if you're not that, that means something is in the way. Okay. So you have to understand that at your core. You didn't come in this world to be afraid. You came in this world to participate in this world. And you need to remember who you are. And that is a spiritual being having a human experience. And even though there can be rough things going on in your life, you can still be happy, healthy, joyful, fearless, loving, and alive. The other thing, the next step, is to decide you really want a healing. You really want to move forward. You really want to remember who you are. It's time for you to get your life back. It's time for you to be who you came here to be and do what you came here to do. And rather than sitting there on the sidelines and watching other people live a life of magnificence, that is your birthright, and you have every right to do that. So you have to decide you want a healing. The other step is no longer settle for just surviving. You should be thriving. Survival happens because people are enslaved by their sense of self, and being just in a state of survival is because of fear. And fear limits growth, and it limits growth of the personality, and it leads to inhibition. And it's because it also takes a lot of energy to rise above that, above the fear. And the oppressed, anybody that doesn't understand, number one, the oppressed are unable to reach a higher level unaided. So it's important to get help too. And I'll talk about that in a moment. Understand you are not broken. You're not broken. You're not broken. You are not broken. You were born at a high level of consciousness. The first law of the universe is vibration. The only problem is that for some reason your field is no longer able to hold the proper vibration that you need in order to be that thriving, successful, happy, healthy, joyful, fearless, loving, and alive individual. Okay. What it basically means is that your I am is distorted. Okay. Your I am is distorted. That's what it comes down to. And that's easily fixable. Number 5 is the most important, is seek professional help. And that's why we do these lives each week with a different topic. That's professional help. If you need additional help, we have other programs and processes that you can go through. The newest one that we've just launched is called Going Beyond Hope, Removing Depression, Anxiety, and PTSD. And that's an online course, 8 weeks long. That's a very high level and sophisticated type of professional help that is available to you. Some of our other processes are like the Hub, the Healing Network, private coaching. All of that is available as well. It's whatever fits your time and space, what works in your environment for you. But the number one thing is you have to invest in yourself. You need to invest in yourself. Make yourself a priority. And so often in this society, we're not taught that. We're taught to give and give and give until there's nothing left to give from, and sacrifice ourselves for the good of our family, the good of our company, the good of our society, whatever. And we are never taught invest in ourselves. And you really do need to invest in yourself. The time, you need the time to invest in yourself. Sometimes it takes money to invest in yourself. You really cannot give away what you don't have. So if you don't have health, you can't be of service. If you don't have money, you can't help people financially. If you don't have oranges, you can't give away oranges. You have to have something first, and that takes investing in yourself first. So seek professional help. That's super, super important. And the next thing is hang on to hope and keep going. Look, it took you years to get in the situation you're in. You know, if you're in your 30s, it took you 30 years to get there. I can tell you this much: it won't take you 30 years to get out of it. It will take you weeks or months, but that's it. It does not take 30 years to get a healing. It does not take 30 years to get your life back. I often tell people what I do in a first session, which is included in the Going Beyond Hope program. The first session, where we put the field back together and reconnect all the different pieces, is worth at least 10 years of sitting on a therapist's couch and revisiting all your hurts and your wounds. Remember, you don't have to know, I don't have to know when we're in session. We don't have to know what happened or why it happened or anything. It's merely energy. And everything is energy. Energy is impressed upon matter, and you are matter. And because it is energy, we clear it with energy. And then that's gone. You don't have to sit there and recount it, relive it, re-experience it. You don't even have to remember it. And in most cases, I'll tell you this right now, most of the stuff that's got a hold of you is old shock, panic, and trauma that the conscious memory of is long gone. Even if you wanted to, you could not recall why it is the way you are, why you're experiencing the things you're experiencing things. There's no recall left, because the human part of us parks that, forgets it, it hides it away, and never to be seen again, because it's just too painful to revisit. Again, it's energy, so we deal with it at the energetic level. So going through these 6 steps, what I want you to remember is, once you get a healing, once you've got that field back together, once you've got your consciousness back, the destructiveness of this world no longer applies to you. No longer applies to you. Once you remember who you are, and I don't mean just intellectually know it, but I mean know it in your bones. You feel it. You wake up knowing it. You live your life knowing it. It's part of who you are. I'm a spiritual being having a human experience. Once you know that, the destructiveness of this world no longer applies to you. And you can move through this world happy, healthy, joyful, fearless, loving, and alive, while everybody around you is panicking. Okay? And then you can be of service that way. You can hold a state, you can hold a higher vibration, and then you can help people get a healing just by being who you are. So the bottom line is, you came here to make a contribution to this world. And that contribution is you being who you came here to be and doing what you came here to do. And the way you do that is through getting a healing. All right? So, sweetheart, I hope that answers the question. Any other questions or follow-up? Or
Yeah, I guess there's one thing I wanted to ask you.
okay.
What about like the certain behaviors that someone has, like if they're used to going to a rave, or if they're used to going, taking part in a particular behavior, how does that affect their progress and their healing?
Well, okay, so this world is a magnificent amusement park. And I liken it to Disney World, for spiritual beings. And you come into this world and you decide the ride you're going to go on. Some people choose the ride of being a college student and getting a degree. Some people choose the ride of getting married and having a family. So you choose the ride of motherhood. You choose the ride of fatherhood. You choose the ride of your career. All those things are things that you're choosing in order to learn lessons and to grow and expand from. And expansion is the key, and not contraction. Unfortunately, the way this world is set up, it's set up for us to contract. We came in here to expand. And certain things that people do is it's an attempt to feel more of who they are. It's one example is a rave, I guess. I've never been to one, but I've seen them on TV or in a movie. That gets things pumping, that gets things moving. That's one way you can feel a little bit more of who you are. And then there are other things you do. Some people do drugs, some people do alcohol, some people do, you know, you name it. Everything in this world is here for our enjoyment and our pleasure. The problem is when it becomes a habit and uncontrollable. When you're at choice, when you're happy, healthy, joyful, fearless, loving, and alive, you're at choice. You have to be at choice. You can't just do things to do things, or do things because you hope someday something will happen. But you know, it's everything's here for enjoyment. I will say this much: you hear me repeat over and over your natural state, but I'm going to tell you what you're not. Okay, you're not your personality. You're not your ego. You're not defective. You're not less than. You're certainly not limited. You're not bad. You're not alone. And you're not at the mercy of this world. So when this field is put back together and all the energy is flowing, you are at 100% choice in the matter. And then you can actually begin to create from there. And so when people have, you know, a lot of problems creating, manifesting, that kind of stuff, it's all because something's broken over in this field, you know, in your personal energy field. So did I answer that at all, or?
Yes, you did. That was good. Thank you.
Okay,
There's one more question here is,
sure.
how do you know that you are settling if you are financially successful, or are having it, or have the family, the dog, the house, the children? Are you living life when someone, you know, there are some examples of settling. What are some of the examples of a person settling and they're not really living the life that they should be living? Do you have any examples?
Well, that's a beautiful question. And it really is. It's, look, you may have come back to experience a loving family and to be successfully financially. That's magnificent. But the question is, are you happy? Are you healthy? Are you joyful? Are you fearless? Are you loving? Are you alive? Do you feel those things every day in your bones? If you don't feel those things, you're settling. You're settling. If you're going, yeah, this is good. I got it. This is good. And sometimes this is a problem. And I went through this myself. Good is the enemy of great. Like if your life is in the shitter and it's really bad, you pretty much know you're settling.
Mhm.
But we can be in a point where we got a beautiful roof over our head. We have a beautiful animal, a dog, our kids are healthy. Everything is going well. Money's going well, job's going well, all that kind of stuff. And that's good. That's really good. Okay. But could you be great? Ask yourself that question. Could I be great? Could there be more to life than this? If you're ever asking the question at any time, anywhere about anything, could there be more? Could there be more to life than this? You're probably settling. You're probably settling. And because there's that still small voice in the back of your head, it'll ping you. It'll get your attention eventually. And it's okay to be in phases, right? Sometimes we go through the phase of being with a family and we raise our children, and our children go out on their own, and then we get to see them grow and expand, and all the things we taught them, we get to see that firsthand, and that's magnificent. But that little voice in the back of your head that's telling you, it's kind of pushing you on. There's more. There's more. And so pay attention to that voice and pay attention to what it's pushing you toward. You know, like the things you're interested in. That pay attention to the voice. That'll tell you if good is the enemy of great for you.
Brilliant. Because I think that right there explains a lot. You know, a lot of people think they go around and their life is good and this and that and everything is fine. When in actuality, it's not. And you're not living your dream.
Well, yeah, that's a good point. And you got to remember your purpose in this life. People, that's the number one question I get. What is my purpose? What is my mission? Why am I here? And your purpose in this life, on a spiritual level, is literally to remember who you are. It's literally to remember who you are. And then I do a particular clearing about busting loose, and it's moving people from stage 1 to stage 2. Stage 1 is where they have parked their spiritual power at all the rides that they went on, right? So I can look down somebody's timeline and see a series of golden spheres. That's spiritual power. And it's parked at when they got married. It's parked at when they went to college. It's parked at when their family came along. It's parked at their career. These little spheres of spiritual power is just parked. Stage one, people tend to want to experience this park, this adventure land, as a human being. And that's perfect. That's great. Fantastic. We're here to do that. We're just pure energy on the other side. It gets kind of boring. We come back into this world to experience it for what it is. It's physicality. It's magnificent to be in a physical body, to feel and to eat food and drink craft beer and all the things that people enjoy. But there will come a day where stage one is no longer acceptable. Stage one is no longer acceptable. And in this process that I do, we shift you. We go down to the timeline. We find all those spiritual eggs where you've parked your spiritual power, and we pull it into the here and now. And we pull it back right here, right now in this moment, because right here, right now is the only place life happens. Once you have your spiritual power back and you begin to remember who you are, you turn forward on your timeline. You begin to build a new future. You put projects out there for yourself that can be of service. Stage one is, maybe if I had to phrase it, it's taking, it's experiencing, it's growing. Stage two is giving back, being of service. And that's a beautiful thing. Because if you've ever noticed, like if you give a gift, what's more important to you? If you're in stage one, Christmas is really cool because people give you stuff and you get stuff. And stage two, that coin gets flipped. And in stage two, you're the giver and you get joy out of giving. And because at your core, that's who you really are. You're this magnificent creator. You're creating happiness for other people, creating comfort for other people, creating connection for other people. And that's what stage two is about. So, but sometimes we got to get our field put back together before we can shift from stage one to stage two. We got to have all those pieces back before we can make that move from stage one to stage two. And there's a lot of people in this world right now that never make that flip, that never move from stage one to stage two. You want to leave the world better than what it was when you came here. I guess that's the bottom line. You want to leave the world better than it was when you came here. And the way you do that is to remember who you are as a spiritual being and flip the script from stage one to stage two. And stage two is where you begin to create on behalf of others, for others, to give to others. And that's a magnificent ride. I promise you. That's a magnificent ride. Stage one is fun. Stage two is exhilarating.
Wow. Yeah, I love it, Jeff. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Now, if you are interested in moving from depression, anxiety, and PTSD to happiness, please reach out to our coach, enrollment coach, Raminya, in a private message. Until next week, I would like to wish each and every one of you goodwill, love, and blessings. Thank you.